Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's a girl Ola, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you how I made this delicious easy homemade vanilla cake and how I made a lovely delicious butter icing. Let's proceed. So these are my ingredients. We have the flour, sugar, egg, milk, groundnut oil, butter, baking powder, vanilla extract, and salt. All the measurements and ingredients will be listed on my description below. In a clean mixing bowl, I added my eggs, sugar, groundnut oil, vanilla flavor, and I whisked properly with my hand mixer. But if you don't have hand mixer, it's fine. You can actually whisk with your hand, but you have to allow it to whisk properly. I added my flour. I sieved my flour to remove any extra lumps, and I go with my baking powder and little salt. Then I also whisk together with my hand mixer. You can actually mix this with your hand if you don't have a hand mixer, but you just require more and more effort to mix properly. In a clean plate, I added my melted butter and my milk, and I mixed properly. And this method will allow you mix it properly and easy even without using electric mixer. I added the milk and melted butter to my batter, and I mixed properly with my hands without the hand mixer this time around. So my batter is like this because I want my cake to be very soft and moist. If you want your cake to be thick and a bit chewy, you can make your batter thick. So at this point, I poured my batter inside my baking pan, which I've coated with my baking paper, and I poured the remaining excess in my extra pan, and I heat the pan so that it can settle properly before adding it to my oven. At this point, I've already preheated my oven, and I'm going to add my cake batters to my preheated oven, and also I baked this for 170 degrees for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, this is how my cake is looking. Very beautiful and smells nice. To check if it's well baked, I dipped in my skewer to check, and at this point it's well baked. If you don't have skewer, you can actually use a toothpick to check. For you to know it's well baked, after you dip in your skewer or your toothpick, when you bring it out, you notice that there is nothing like moist or wet stinging on it. Then you know your cake is well baked. At this point, you bring out your cake and allow it to cool down for 15 minutes before bringing out from the pan. The purpose of using a baking paper or a parchment paper when pouring your batter is to help you bring out your cake easily after baking without sticking to the pan. I wrapped my vanilla cake with some cling wrap and put inside my fridge because I'll be decorating the next day. Now let's proceed to make the butter icing. Icing, sugar, butter, vanilla extract, and my milk. In a clean bowl, I added my butter and I mixed properly with my hand mixer. At this point, my hand mixer got spoiled. I had to do the manual way, which is mixing it with my hands. And yeah, mixing it with your hands, you will still get the perfect buttercream, but you have to add lots and lots of work. So I mixed with my hand. While mixing at the same time, I also used my spatula to scrape round and also make sure I mix every single thing. If you can notice, the color of the butter is now different from when I initially started mixing. So that's when you mix properly until you get the perfect consistency. I added my vanilla extract and I mix properly until I also get a perfect consistency without seeing the vanilla extract. Then I go in with my icing sugar to sieve my icing sugar because I want to remove any excess lumps. All measurements and ingredients will be listed in the description below. After sieving my icing sugar, I went in to mix properly, and after doing that, I added a little bit of milk because I wanted to have that creamy and sweet taste. After adding the milk, I mixed properly. I went ahead to add my color. For the color, I needed a very light green, which I added little of that food coloring, and I mixed properly until everything is well combined, just like this. So my batter is well combined and it's thick. I use my spatula to scrape around my bowl to make sure all my butter icing is well intact. Yes, and this is the consistency, thick. Then the next thing I did was to put my butter icing inside my piping bag, and after placing the butter icing inside my piping bag, I went ahead to adjust the butter icing in the piping bag, and then I proceeded to put in my piping bag and the butter icing in the fridge while I prep for the decoration table. So this is the next day, and I brought out my cake from the fridge. At the same time, I prepped my cake before putting my butter icing. So what I'm using here is just normal butter I whisked properly. So I used the normal butter which I whisked properly to do my coating before using my butter icing on my cake. After doing that, I put inside my fridge for some minutes for it to get cold before proceeding to using my butter icing to decorate the cake. Now it's time to decorate the cake with my butter icing. Firstly, I use my piping bag to just pour the butter icing around the cake so that I can do the coating before the decoration. Trust me when I say this part gets messy, especially when you are not an expert like me. I'm not an expert when it comes to decorating butter icing cake, but I try my best to do the best I can. So don't worry if it's messy, just take your time and spread this around your cake and coat it properly so that you can get that smooth and beautiful foundation when it comes to your cake. Now this is how my coating looks. I know it's beautiful, it's not perfect, but you can make yours perfect. Yes. Then I proceeded to making my decoration with my piping bag, and this is what I got. After doing the first layer, I did the down part, and after doing that, this is what I came out with. And guys, trust me when I say this cake is really beautiful. It tastes really great and very yummy. It's a birthday cake for my husband, and I'm super proud of myself for making this delicious, fluffy, moist, and yummy cake. Let me know if you'll be trying out this recipe, or if you're a baker, let me know if I did anything wrong, and let me know where I should take my correction from. Thank you. I love you. Bye.